Welcome to the Midlife Edit, the podcast for women who are navigating the beautiful, messy, and sometimes sweaty journey of midlife. This isn't about a crisis, it's about an awakening. Join me, your host, Jen Weinstein, as I dive into all the things no one warned us about: hot flashes, brain fog, strength training, hormone balancing, and figuring out who the hell we are now. With a mix of expert insights, real talk, and a little humor, because if we're not laughing, we're crying, right? The Midlife Edit is your go-to space for embracing this season with confidence, strength, and balance. Whether you're trying to lift heavier, sleep better, set stronger boundaries, or just remember why you walked into a room, this podcast is here to remind you, midlife is not the end, it's just an edit, and you get to rewrite it your way. Hit subscribe and let's tackle midlife together, one episode at a time. This is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Midlife Edit. I'm your host, Jen Weinstein, and today, as promised, we are going to get back into fitness talk about fitness in midlife. I have a friend and a very special guest today. Her name is Jen Ryder, and she's been somebody who I have consistently looked up to on her social medias and her journey in fitness and how she's putting fitness first so that when she is in her 80s and 90s, she's going to, I guarantee you, mark my words, you are going to see her do a 2-minute plank for her 80th birthday. She is so great in the fitness communities. She's also in the Dave Matthews Band community, so you Dave fans out there might know who she is. But I just really wanted to sit down and have a conversation with her because, again, I follow her journey on social media, and she's just so inspirational. So grab your water and grab your headphones. Take a walk while you're listening to this. But I'm really excited to share with you my interview with Jen Ryder. Okay, today's guest is a fellow Dave Matthews Band lover and midlife warrior. Jen Ryder, welcome to the Midlife Edit.
It's great to be here.
I'm so excited to chat with you because I have been following your personal journey on Facebook. The Dave Matthews Band fans have a DMB Fit group, and I love to see you on there. And I've just kind of been following like everything you've been doing and the changes you've been making. Whoops. And it's just one of those things where you look at somebody who's so similar to you in midlife, and you just, even not knowing them, you just get so proud. You know what I mean? And so that's what this podcast is all about, lifting each other up and being proud of the midlife women that we are. So tell us a little bit about you, Jen.
Well, I live in Cranston, Rhode Island, and I'm 47, so I'm in that midlife stage now, as much as I don't want to admit it. That's where we're all at now. I work as a 911 dispatcher in a small town here in Rhode Island. Obviously, we already mentioned I love Dave Matthews. I love my dog, who's sitting off camera right now, but I love traveling, going to concerts, other than Dave Matthews too. We all go to a lot of Dave shows, but I love going to other shows as well. And I just like doing stuff, being active, exploring, meeting new people, just being happy and living life, basically.
Being happy and living life is what it's all about, right? I mean, we got to let all of the everyday stresses away and just kind of live our best lives now that we're in midlife. It's not, I always say, it's not a crisis. It's just time to edit and be the best version of ourselves. So we talked a little bit off camera a couple of days ago about your fitness journey. And you were a dedicated, decade-long member of Orangetheory. How did that experience kind of shape your fitness journey?
So Orangetheory, it's funny because a studio opened. I was living up in Boston at the time, and a studio opened near me. And I was running a lot at that time, and doing a lot of workouts on my own at the Y, here and there, group classes and stuff. And I would run by it, and I'd be like, "What are those people doing? They're following workouts on a screen." And I was just, I thought it was kind of silly, the whole thing. And then I moved like closer to it. Meaning I was like, went from being a half mile away to like a quarter mile away. So I moved closer to it, and I could walk there in the mornings and stuff. So I was like, let me give it a try. And I went in and tried it out, and I was like, this is great. I'm getting my cardio. I'm getting my strength training. It's a great HIIT workout. I was sore. It was like working me hard. And at that time, I was probably 38, I think, when I joined there. So, yeah, it was a great way to get in everything in one 60-minute workout. And it got me stronger. I was running faster than I've ever run before. It helped me with like when I was running marathons and half marathons. It was really helped me push through those a lot better. And it's a great workout. Like I love Orangetheory. I did it for 10 years. It's over 1,700 workouts. I mean, I was committed. I was committed to working out there 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes doing double classes. But with everything, it's like sometimes your body kind of gets used to it. It's, you do the same thing every day and your body's like, okay, this is our baseline now. This is what we do every single day. And I got to the point where maybe I need something new. Maybe I need a new challenge. Orangetheory does a bunch of different challenges throughout the classes. There's benchmarks with the rower, with the treadmill. They do their own version of a triathlon. And I've won every challenge they put out. I'm like, I can't do any better here. Like I've won for my age group, for everything. I need something new that's gonna, push me into a better version of myself. And listening to what you've been talking about and pushing towards more strength training as we get older. We all know as we get older, it's better for our bones and for us as women to focus on getting stronger. So I said, let me just move out of a little bit of the cardio, move more into all strength training. And so I started doing CrossFit last month. And if anyone's ever done CrossFit, they'll agree with this. I've never been so sore in my life. I'm sore like that every single day. It just never goes away. And it's hard. It's hard to go to a new version of doing the same thing, I guess, because I was lifting weights to Orangetheory, using dumbbells. They do the TRX straps. They do body weight stuff. And then you switch it on the CrossFit, and now you're using kettlebells, which I know you love, and we're using barbells, and we're using sandbags, and we're running, and we're rowing, and we're biking. So it's the same thing, but just a little bit different way of doing it. And CrossFit's been great. Like I love the community. I love everyone that's there. The workouts are hard every day. And again, with everything, it's always as hard as you make it. Whether you want to lift really heavy or maybe, hey, I'm a little sore, I'm going to go a little bit lighter today. But the strength training part of it has been phenomenal. Like I look at the other women in those classes and they're strong, very strong. And a lot of them are in their midlife. And it's great to see that this workout is going to bring me to that and keep pushing me forward for the rest of my life and keeping me healthy as I get older. And I remember you saying recently on one of your podcasts how, the goal is not to, you don't want to be like, I don't want to bench press 100 pounds just when I'm 80. I just want to be getting up out of a chair. I want to be able to sit down and get up and not need anyone to help me. Not just when I'm 80, but what if I could live to 90 or 95? And you see those viral videos of women, the 100-year-old holds a 2-minute plank for a 100th birthday, or this 100-year-old ran a 5K. Like, that's where I want to be. Like, I still want to be crushing it in my 80s and 90s. I don't want to be sidelined in a chair because I didn't take care of myself properly. So I feel like what you do and what I'm trying to do now is really going to push me into that goal that's, 30, 40, 50 years down the line.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about now, and I talk about this all the time, but the way we grew up and the eras that we grew up in was all about aerobics and skinny. And, that's how you had to be. And now it's like, if you look at it, everything's shifting. And I love that it's shifting, but it's shifting because we're looking at longevity, right? And we're looking at when you're 80 and 90. So to bounce back on that a little bit, were you always into fitness? Like when you were growing up, because you said you've run marathons, was it something that you've always loved? Or is it like, once you got into your 30s, that was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to do something?
Yeah, not always growing up. I think growing up, in the 80s and stuff, like, as a kid, you're always outside running around playing. Like that was our thing. Mm-hmm. Like my parents were like, if it's a nice day, you're outside. You're not allowed to sit in front of the TV. So you're always running around the neighborhood with your friends and you're riding your bikes everywhere and, you're going swimming. So as a kid, you're always active. So that's kind of like what what you would do as just like your day to day, like that was your life. You didn't see it as I'm going to go out because I need to work out today with my friends. And then I think going into high school, I think with our generation, we weren't focused as much as like on exercise as far as like, this is what you should eat. This is what you should do for mobility and working out. I think it was, at least with my family, it was like, if this was the meal that my mom put on the plate, you had to eat all of it. Like that's what you were given because your dad worked hard and like, God forbid, there's starving kids in China that would love to have this food. Like how many times did we hear that line growing up? So I think growing up, it was never a fitness thing. And even like going into college, like I was active, I walked, but I was never like a runner. I never like lifted weights consistently. Like I might do it here and there, but I just don't think I had the basis of an education on fitness in that respect. And to touch on what you said about, the aerobics and stuff, like step aerobics was huge. I remember in college, my friends taking step aerobic classes and just trying to burn calories. And that was the focus, like burn and get lean as quick as you can, like quick fixes and Atkins diets and all this. But there was never something that was like, this is the right way to do it. Eat healthy, move, get 10,000 steps a day, lift some weights. Like that was never like something that was ever presented to me growing up. So then as I got, into like my 20s and early 30s, I started picking up running because it was something that I could do wherever I was. I just need a pair of shoes and some workout clothes and off you go. So I started running 5Ks. And as I started running 5Ks, I was like, let me try a 10K. And I did 10K and then let me try a half marathon. So it just progressed. And then I went into a marathon and stuff. And so then you start learning about the training that goes along with those. And then that's when I started getting into doing more weight training and lifting more and doing more HIIT workouts and stuff versus just running all the time. Because you can just run. And that's great. But you're not focusing on your muscles and your strength. You're just running and doing cardio all the time. And it's great to burn calories, but you're not burning fat and building any muscle. You could burn fat, but you're not building any muscle. So as I got older and then got into Orangetheory, then I started learning more about, hey, this is a great way to do it. So as growing up, it was never just a focus. And I think probably in my early 30s was when I started making it like, this is the way it's going to be for me. Like I'm going to work out 4 to 6 days a week. I'm going to start eating healthier. I'm going to think about what I'm eating instead of being like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm just going to grab whatever I can get right now. So now everything's planned as like, it's different. Now I'm in my 40s. Everything's planned out. What I'm going to eat. Like, after I did yoga today, we had my protein. So we got the yogurt. And you're just thinking more about what you're putting in that's quality to help you what you're doing on the exercise portion of it. So now it's like where you were like working out to lose weight and eating to not be hungry. Now you're being like, okay, I'm working out to get stronger for the rest of my life, and I'm eating properly to fuel what I'm doing as a workout. So now like they work together instead of being so unbalanced. And I think that's something I learned as I got older versus when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, and it's insane because when we were younger, we could eat whatever we wanted, right? You could leave class and run to McDonald's and it was fine, and you felt like your body was fueling. Now, if I eat McDonald's, I'm out for a week.
Oh, God, I feel disgusting afterwards.
Yeah. So how does lifting heavier make you feel not only physically, but mentally?
I think for me, it's like when I'm in there lifting and I'm like, can get stronger and lift heavier, it makes me feel proud. Like, look what I just achieved. Like, I go into some of these classes and I read the workout ahead of time. I'm like, ooh, these are going to be hard. But I say to myself in my head as I'm working out, if I think it's something hard or if the whole workout is hard, I go, I can do hard things. I've done hard things. I've run marathons. I can do hard stuff and I can finish it and accomplish it. So as I'm working out, it makes me feel proud of myself. It boosts my self-esteem to be like, wow, I just lifted all this weight, which I never thought I could do. And it just makes me feel proud. Like, I really think when you go into workouts and you set a goals and then you achieve it, but not just achieve it and go past it, it boosts you up and like, it just makes you feel happier about yourself. And I think you carry that into every part of your life when, if I have a bad day, and like I had a bad day the other day, my toilet flooded right before I went to go to work and it was terrible. It was water all over my bathroom. But you know what? it happens. That's life. Just deal with it, you know? Like, I had a good day today, I had a good workout, something bad happened, you know, you just move on. You just take it. And I think working out for me has flipped it to be more positive about situations that maybe just aren't the best of what I want. But I feel like if I can overcome stuff in the gym and do stuff that I think is hard and move past it and then feel proud, I carry that into all different parts of my life.
Absolutely. I mean, I can tell the difference in my mentality if I don't work out that day. You know, you just feel off. If you have this, you know, exercise releases endorphins and you don't get those endorphins that you're used to, then, you know, your day can kind of something little like, not little because a flooded toilet is not little, but something like that can throw your whole week off, you know,
right?
If you're not taking care of yourself. And I think that the physical fitness and mental fitness go hand in hand.
Yeah, so you need to burn out that energy, and it just makes you feel great. Even if you just go for a walk, like the days I'm on my recover rest day, I still go out and go for walks and stuff. I'm just not throwing weights around and crushing my muscles. So I think just getting out and getting a walk just clears your head and just makes you feel better.
It really does. It really does. So what would you tell other midlife women who may be like, because honestly, I've done CrossFit before, and it's something that I've kind of toyed with the idea of getting back into, but it's intimidating, right? You walk into that CrossFit gym for the first time and you're like, holy cow. So if one of your friends or one of your coworkers, a woman in midlife, came to you and they were intimidated by the strength training, what would you tell them to kind of ease their mind?
Everyone, when they go in that gym, is in a different part of their journey. Some of them are competitive CrossFitters and they are phenomenal. Like, you watch them and they're throwing around the heaviest weights I've ever seen. Like, yeah, it can be intimidating because you're coming in as a beginner and it's like, well, I can't do that. Well, you can. You just can't do as much as that person's doing. Like, you can still do it. Everyone's there at their own level. You don't have to be a level 10. You might be a level 2, and that's okay because you have to start somewhere. You can't just walk into a gym and think that you're going to work out the same as, you know, this CrossFit athlete that places at the games that they have. You know, you can't go in with that mentality. You got to go in to be like, I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm going to do what I can do. And that's where you start out at. You can't think that you can't think that you're at the same level as everyone, because everyone's at a different level. You just got to go in and do what's best for you and do what's best for your journey and not be intimidated by what they're doing. I don't know about other gyms, but at least at the one I go to, everyone's very encouraging. Everyone's like, even if I'm lifting half the weight of the woman next to me, she's still like, you did a great job today. You lifted heavy. It's a very encouraging environment. Like, they want to see you succeed. They want to see you come back tomorrow too. They don't want you to come in there and throw around the same weight they are. They want you to do what you can do so that you can keep coming back day after day after day. So it is an intimidating environment. I'm not going to downplay that, but you have to go in there knowing where you're at in your journey, and that's where you're starting at. You're not starting at someone that's been doing this for a year. You're not starting at someone that's been at this for 5 years. You're starting at your level where you are. And as long as you go in with that mentality, you can succeed because you know what you can do. And that's how I look at it. Like, I'm not intimidated by what they can do. Like, I am at awe, and that's where I want to get to. So I look at it as this is a goal for me. This is where I'm going to get to maybe in 6 months or a year. And so that keeps me focused as a drive to try to get to that level. Like, I can't do pull-ups. These women are knocking out pull-ups. I can't even do one, but they're doing it. And I said, after my first class, I said to one of the women, I said, I'm going to be able to do that one day. And she's like, you will. She's like, you just keep coming and you just keep advancing and doing a little tweak each time and doing up a level. You'll get there. I'm not going to get there tomorrow. I might not get there in 6 months, but maybe in a year, I'll be able to do some pull-ups. You just have to know what your level is and be happy with that and start at your journey and not be worried about where everyone else is at in their journey. I think that goes for any gym, for any workout.
I agree with you 100% because, you know, it's just that first step. And, you know, if you walk into a gym and you feel like that and people are making you feel like that, maybe that's not the gym for you and you just move on to another one, you know? So here's a big question for you because, again, I follow you on social media. You're constantly doing all the things, right? How do you balance your intense workouts with your high demands? Like, I mean, your job, it's a very high stress job, right? How do you balance that?
I think the working out, if I've had a rough shift or there was a rough couple calls, or, like last night when I was working, we had to do 3 water rescues for people in distress in the ocean. So there's a lot that goes into it. But I got up, I came home, I got home at 11, went to bed, I went and did yoga today. And that helps you release any stress. Like working out for me relieves stress. It calms me down, it brings me more to center. And I think no matter what your job, whether even and I'm not gonna say it's lightly, if you're a mom and that's what you do, it's stressful. It's stressful being a mom. Like I don't have any kids, but most of my friends do, and it's stressful. It's not as easy as people think. So I think it doesn't matter what you do. I think there's always stress in your life. Somehow working out brings me that balance. It gives me that release to focus on myself and not focusing on work and stuff. And if I can do that, 4 or 5, 6 days a week, then I feel like that gives me the balance that I need instead of just coming home and not doing anything. Like I work out in the mornings, like you do. You get it done first thing, and it just really sets you up for the rest of the day. And so I work out in the morning, I go to work, and I feel good, and I'm not stressed out when I go into work, and I feel it makes me better at my job because I've done something for myself that day that's released any tension I might have or any stress I might have, and I go into my shift feeling positive and feeling at ease and not feeling like stressed out because I had a rough day the day before.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about you feel less stressed because you did something for yourself. Because as women, it doesn't matter mom or not, or if you have a high stress job or not, we're constantly worried about other people, right? So for you, all of you listening out there, I really want you to take in what Jen said. She did something for herself that made her life less stressful. So that's going to make her better at her job. It's going to make her better with the people that she works with. And so it's not selfish to do something for yourself. And
Exactly.
I love to remind people of that all the time because it's not. Self-care is not selfish,
It's great doing things for other people and always being there to help people. But if that's all you do and you're not focusing on yourself, eventually you're going to crumble because you're not giving yourself the love it needs. Like you're loving everyone else, but then when it comes to you, if you're running around with your kids all day and taking them to 4 different activities, cooking meals and everything, and then you're not doing any of that stuff for yourself to help yourself calm down and prepare yourself to do all those activities. It's important to care for yourself. And if you've had a stressful day and all you can do is go out and get a 30-minute walk in, I mean, you do a lot of walking through your neighborhood. I know that. And for me, it's just relaxes. Like I put in an audiobook, I take my dog and I just go out and walk, and it's so stress relieving. And I come back home and I was like, oh, I feel so much better now. I just took a nice walk, calm me down, beautiful out, especially this time of year. It's great to go on those evening walks and just reset yourself for the next day.
It really is. It really is. So we talked about how fitness helps you be better with your life and your job. But what about nutrition? So like I've seen, and you've talked about how you plan now, right? We plan for things out because number one, it makes our life easier. But like, what are your go-to meals for post-workout and then just in general?
So I just started working with a nutritionist to help me build muscle. I'm not talking I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I'm talking I'm going to have tonnage, I'm going to burn fat, and I'm going to be the healthiest version of myself. So, and I feel like I can read all I want and get all the knowledge, but I feel like having that professional on my side to incorporate more of what I'm going to need to get me to that goal is worth it. And so I'm on a high protein because I lift a lot and do a lot of strength training. I'm on a high protein diet. I eat a lot of eggs. I eat a lot of lean proteins for lunch and dinner, like chicken, turkey, pork. There's some red meat thrown in because red meat's not terrible. It's good to have as well. I do yogurt after I work out. I get my fibers from whole sources now instead of like fiber and carbs from whole sources instead of like breads and pastas. Now those are coming from broccoli, cauliflower, berries, oranges. So they're coming from whole sources versus processed sources. And that is going to be better for my body and for what I'm trying to achieve. And meal planning for me is always a lot of protein. Um, I have a meal delivery service now that's coming in with this nutritional program I'm on. So I choose my proteins every week. I choose my carbs in forms of veggies and maybe some rice if that's on the menu that week, but mostly veggies and then berries, and that's fueling me. And I've never eaten so few times in a day and felt satiated. So like the protein is keeping me healthy. And even with the meal planning, taking that one day to be like, this is what I'm eating for the week, and you have it planned out, you have your meals prepped and ready to go, you're not going to sway and be like, oh no, I don't have dinner planned. Let me just go run and get something quick from somewhere. Because then you don't know what you're putting in. You're getting whatever it is you might think is healthy, because a lot of things are branded as healthy and they're actually not healthy. So a lot of times people see, well, it says whole grains and it says this and that. But then you flip it over, you read the label, and you're like, not really that healthy. Or you look at the serving size and you get, a small bag of a snack that's like this. And it's like, well, that's 4 servings. You're like, 4 servings? I could eat that in one. So I think when you plan stuff out, you're getting better nutrition for you. You know what you're eating every day. You know what you're putting in it. There's no hidden sauces, hidden sodium. And for me on the diet I'm on now, it's more protein based with all whole foods and nothing processed. So that's going to be a big game changer for me. I'm only like on my first week or so on the program. So I signed up for a 4-month stretch to see how it does. So I'm hoping over the next months, and you'll see it on social media, the progression that I'm going to do just by tweaking. I was already eating very healthy, but just by tweaking it a little bit, I think it's going to make a big difference over time. Like I'm not going to in 2 weeks be like, oh my God, I just lost 20 pounds because I'm on this new diet. This is eating for life. This isn't a diet. This isn't a quick fix. This is eating healthy for life. And then you're just training yourself in that nutritional path to eat better, so that you're not going to go grab something quick and be like, I'm not going to do that because I've worked so hard in all these other facets of my life, in my strength training, in my nutrition. I'm not going to take one day and just sabotage all the work I've done, because now you're more educated on what you're eating. So they go hand in hand. You have to know what you're putting in your body in order to make your body work the best it can for you.
You are so spot on. And I especially about the label part of it, because I was at the grocery store and I see like everything's labeled high protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because protein's the big thing. Cheerios, protein Cheerios. And then I look at them and I was like, protein's not even the first, like the highest ingredient in there.
Mm-hmm.
So like how we're labeling these things just so that as consumers, we think that we're getting quote unquote healthy foods, and it's just not it. And I will tell you,
protein Cheerios, high in sugar.
Yeah, exactly. And Whole Foods is where it's at. And I notice in my body, it's such a huge difference, even if it's like, oh, okay, well, it's only one day that I'm going to eat 2 slices of pizza or whatever it is. My body yells at me, like after you eat so well for so long, then it's just like, it fights back. So along those lines too, and I know this is always kind of like, it's a very personal choice for everyone. But the older we get, especially when we're traveling and going to concerts, alcohol is around us all the time, right? And whether people have had a problem with alcohol or not in their lives, the older we get, our body processes it different, right? And I know that you have said, hey, I'm not going to drink as much anymore. Can you touch on that just a little bit about your journey with not wanting to drink as much, I guess?
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand with what you do. And I know, like, with this nutritionist, she's not saying, oh my God, you can't drink ever, but it's better for you not to. And I know you read a lot of stories now about how certain alcohols are related to cancer. They've made some linkage to that. People are like, well, a glass of red wine a day is great for the heart. Like, you know what so else is? Walking, running, lifting weights, also good for your heart, I think for me, the biggest thing for me when I have alcohol is I don't really feel hungover the next day. I feel very dehydrated. I feel very like lethargic and just tired. because it's drained so much out of me. So for my choice with just trying to limit what I'm drinking or not drinking at all, whatever your choice is, it's like I feel better when I wake up like on the weekend saying, even if I were just to have a glass of wine at night at home, I still wake up the next morning and I am thirsty, even just after one drink. Like, so for me, it's more about, again, we're going to what you're putting into your body to make it the best version to work for you when you're doing intense workouts. And, just limiting that, it just, you're clear in your head. You don't feel crappy the next day. You're still hydrated. Like, I have to drink a lot of water now, and I have to track the water I drink. Yeah. So when I was thinking I was drinking a lot of water, I was drinking like half of what I needed, even though that was like the main thing I drank every day. I realized I just wasn't drinking enough. So now I track every day how much water I drink, and like I'm always somewhere near a gallon of water a day, which is not easy. It's not an easy feat. Like you don't think it's that hard, but it's hard. It's hard to get that in when you're busy doing stuff. Or at work and you get busy and you forget to take, a drink. So it's like you have to keep your water with you. You have to. If I'm going out running errands, water is with me. But back to the alcohol thing, I just think if you're on this journey to get stronger, to live longer, so that in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you're able to do things that you do now. I think you need to be mindful of what you're putting into yourself. And if you're like, I'm going out every Friday and Saturday and me and my girls are going out, we're having a good time. And that's fine. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going out, having a couple drinks. But for me, I'm trying to be more conscious of everything I'm putting into my body. And it includes liquids. You really just need to know what you're putting in as far as even caffeinated drinks. If you're, like I work long hours. Like I worked 48 hours in 4 days this week. I work a lot, and I tried not to have a lot of caffeine because I think that's also going to be something that dehydrates me a little bit. So the alcohol is just, I've read different things about people saying, oh, it's basically, it's somewhat of a poison you're putting in your body when it really comes down to it, because it's not something that your body should have. And that's really what it is, because it's altering your mentality and your thinking process and stuff. So there's nothing wrong with it. I'd have a drink every now and again still, but I want to keep that as much to a minimum as I can. And now going to concerts, it's really expensive at concerts to have a drink.
So expensive.
Let's be honest there. It's expensive to have a drink at a concert. Not that I've never had a drink at a concert, because we all have, but it's expensive. It also makes you go to the bathroom a lot. So who wants to keep going to the bathroom when you're at a show? But I just think you can have a good time without it. And you can still enjoy the show and go out, socialize and meet people and have a good time and keep a little bit more money in your bank account and wake up clear-headed and, not so dehydrated.
And remembering the
day.
whole set list, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, believe me, I've had the concerts in my 20s where we partied in the parking lot and then we snuck beers into the show. We partied on the lawn. Like, we've all done it. We've all been there. Yeah. And the next day you're like, oh yeah, that concert was so great. And it's like, how much of it did I really remember, Yeah. But now being more thoughtful of what I'm putting in my body, it's like, alcohol is just one of those things that's kind of taking a sideline right now, because I'm more focused on putting quality stuff in. And especially over these next 4 months, just, I want to do everything as I'm supposed to get the best results. Because let's face it, working out, eating healthy, having nutritious, this stuff isn't cheap. It's not, right. So if I'm putting money into something, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do what's best for me with it. And the alcohol can just take a sideline for now. If I limit everything I'm drinking now, it means that in 30 years, I'm going to be a healthier version of myself. So be it. That's a small sacrifice for longevity for me.
Love that so much. You're such an inspiration, Jen, honestly, because there's a lot of pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure when you're at these shows, not even at the shows, but like in general, like society puts a lot of pressure on you. And I feel like we're coming to a point now where like, we're not talking about alcohol as much as we used to. Like, oh, that's weird that you're not drinking. I mean, I just did 3 shows stone sober, and it was amazing and wonderful. And you could, like you said, we can still have a good time. But I mean, you're right. You're putting poison into your body, and what else is it doing to you? So
But
I
and
love that so much.
it's also such a social pressure to drink as well. It's like the one, I mean, alcohol is a drug. It is what it is. It's the one drug where you can say, I'm not doing that anymore. And people are like, why? Why aren't you drinking? It's such a negative connotation in society, in social situations, to not be drinking, because people think that there's something wrong with you. Oh, you must have a problem. You're not drinking, you must have had a problem with it. And people can make the choice just not to drink. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, you're making a healthy choice for yourself, but that in that instance with alcohol has such a negative connotation when you're in social settings. It just does. So I was at a concert this past week, and with a couple of day friends, and they went up to get some drinks. They're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I just want a water. Just grab me a water." He comes back with the can of Liquid Death, and I was like, "I just said I wanted water," and he's like, "This is water." No idea that Liquid Death was water. I thought it was a giant seltzer or something. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, that guy,
so
that guy that came up with that, genius. Because he was sober and he wanted a way to still fit in at events like that. And
Yep. And uh-huh. Yeah. And that's great because I mean, I even saw we were at Bethel, and there was a stand for just mocktails. And so now I feel like it is encouraged, and I love that. I had some non-alcoholic White Claws. It tastes exactly like the real thing. And it made me feel like I was still participating, even though it was non-alcoholic. So I love that. I think it's a really good thing to talk about all the time, because you don't have to be ashamed to not drink if you had a problem or not. Like, it's okay to not have alcohol. Mm-hmm. Yep. Love that. So let's shift for a little bit here at the end, but I want to talk about your love for the band that I love, the Dave Matthews Band. What has been what? Yeah, I see the posters in the back. It's yeah. Ours is in our hallway, and that's another not cheap habit, but it's amazing. um, what is your favorite show or memory? I have not. 2026. My husband's been there. I have not. My husband was there in 99. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that one. Um, so how do you make time for the travel, and not just shows, but you had mentioned you want to go somewhere new every month this year, right? So how do you make time and make that a priority? Because people like us that love to travel, I mean, it's expensive, but then we also, we have jobs. So like, how do you carve out that time for travel? Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Work hard, play hard. Um, so other than concerts, when you travel, what other things do you like to do? Mhm. Mhm. Wow. That's awesome. Where's the one place that you're looking forward to going in the second half of the year here? Yeah. Yeah, that'll be so fun. Yeah. 26. I'm putting it out there. We are doing it. I don't care what happens. All right. Well, this has been so great, but I always like to end with some rapid fire questions. So let's talk about Luna. What's her what's oh I love her. What's her best habit? Hmm. Well, on the flip side, what's her worst habit? Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Oh, we love Luna. All right, what's your favorite lift right now? When you're at CrossFit, what's your favorite lift? What's your go-to Dave Matthews song for a tough day? When your toilet floods right before work, what are you jamming to on the way to work? Pick me up. Um, and then last one. I know you're a reader. You read all the time. I see you posting books. So what? Last one's a two-parter. What's on your nightstand right now? What are we reading right now? Oh, nice. Wow. I'm a Tom Hanks fan too. Yeah. Okay, so my second question is, if somebody asks you, hey, I haven't read in a really long time, I want to get back into reading, what's the book that you would tell them that will hook them right away to get back into reading? Oh, nice. Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah. Awesome. Jen, it has been so great. This has been such a great conversation. If somebody, because I'm telling you, you're inspiring when I'm following you on Facebook, you're inspiring. So, um other than the DMB Fit crew, because that's a really good one, a really good group. Yep, really good group to join. But if somebody wants to follow your journey, where can they find you? Yep. That's us. We're here. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jen, thank you so much. Keep kicking ass because you're doing a great job. And I look forward to seeing the rest of your journey. It's always so fun to talk about our different journeys in midlife and how we are doing things to better ourselves. And somebody like Jen is somebody that, again, I look up to, I admire. I think that she's doing a really great job of not only doing it for herself, but showing people that it can be done and how to take care of ourselves as we're going into midlife. So I really appreciate Jen and her being on the podcast. Next week, we're going to get a little bit more into nutrition, and I'm finally going to share with you my Everlywell test results and what I'm doing to kind of combat the results that I got and to live a better, healthier life. So I will see you next week. I really look forward to chatting with you about these results, and also if you or somebody you know would be a great guest for the Midlife Edit, please shoot me a DM or an email. My email is jen@themidlifeeditco.com. And please like, share, follow, subscribe, do all of the things to this podcast because it helps get the word out to other people that we're not in a crisis. We're just editing our lives. And I really appreciate all of you that continue to tune in and listen and share. And I would love to have some of you on the podcast to have a chat about midlife. So until next time, this is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter.